Alright everybody, welcome to another awesome figure review. Today we're taking a look at the Dungeons & Dragons Icons of the Realm Mimic Colony. This comes with a bunch of new Mimic figures, and we're going to take a look at each of them individually. But first, we'll take a look at the box art. So you can see a Mimic right there with sort of a mischievous smile, Icons of the Realm. And then if you look closely at the back of this box fully, it's got what looks like a point of view from the Mimic watching this couple kind of having some tea. And then in the corner, it's kind of obscured by the box, but there is a kettle that is also a Mimic. So it seems like this couple has a Mimic problem. It looks like two old ladies having tea, but they're about to be ambushed by 2 or more Mimics. So pretty crazy stuff. You can see one of the grand people right there. Now, I don't know if these guys are actually friends with the Mimics, or if the Mimics are just going to kill them, because we can see that she's sitting on a Mimic chair and drinking from a cup that is also a Mimic, so who knows. But you can see on the back here, lovely background and some fantasy backdrop. We got the regular Mimic, a chair Mimic, a Mimic is a barrel, or what looks like some kind of furnace, a Mimic chair, a juvenile Mimic in the form of a plant, a giant Mimic, which is one of my favorites in this set, next to the, obviously, classic treasure chest Mimic, because it's like literally a bear pelt, but a Mimic. Then we have giant Mimic, aka the dire Mimic. But with that being said, that pretty much wraps up the box. Let's crack this one open and take a look at all the Mimic goodness. Alright, so here is each of the Mimics out of the box. We can take a closer look at them. So starting off with the original, this is the one that I'm sure most people know of, and this is the regular Mimic, nicely painted here with the flesh color, kind of a purplish blue color. It's got a nice tongue coming out, lots of fangs, it's got 4 eyes, actually no, it's got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it has 8 eyes. Obviously the chest itself is kind of warped, it's all scratched up and beat up. This Mimic has probably been in a couple fights with some magic folk within the world of D&D. But pretty cool. It's not trying to focus on these, but it's just that they're so small. But the person that painted these did a really good job. Obviously you can see the chest is warped, you know, because the Mimic is awake and ready to feed. But pretty cool. Love these figures. Move this guy aside. Take a look at this one. This one's pretty cool. This is, I think, some kind of table. And obviously the table is a Mimic. It's got some purple toes at the feet or the legs of the table. Big long tongue, purple flesh with the tip of it being a nice blue color. You can see the kind of flesh separating. It's got multiple eyes, lots of sharp teeth, so it can feed. As for the table, if you put it this way, it kind of, you can still tell it's a Mimic because it's like warped up like that. But it's still really cool. Definitely really awesome. Lots of detail in like the legs for this table. But really cool Mimic. We got this guy right here. This is a chair. It's a Mimic that's disguised as a chair. You can see the face kind of peeking out right there. It really does not want to focus on these. They're just so small. You can see it's got 2 eyes. Bits of flesh coming out like that. You can see arms and stuff coming out. But if you have it facing this way, it just looks like a normal chair with like sorry, I almost dropped it. Looks like a normal chair with purple arms sticking out of it. But pretty cool stuff. There's the chair Mimic. Start off with a really small one. Camera's not gonna like looking at this. Here is the flower one. It's got a couple eyes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 eyes. Big mouth at the base of the flower pot. It's got some nice leaves, some flowers in there. Nicely pegged in. Looks like a nasty little guy. Nasty little gremlin right there. Nice long tongue. Again, that blue/purple flesh that mimics have. Here is the closet mimic. This is the biggest mimic they have. It's known as the giant mimic on the box, but I know it as the dire mimic in Magic the Gathering. Really nice detail on this wardrobe or closet, whatever. The handle, the wood on the grain, the locks, the buckles, and everything like that. Top of it right here. It really does not want to focus on these. Like, there's even some dry brushing to give it that weathered look. Obviously, this is supposed to be a very fancy kind of dresser or wardrobe, whatever, what have you. You can see it's got like these 4 eyes, lots of sharp teeth, this big empty void in the closet for whoever decides to open this. Big, again, bluish purple tongue and, flesh. Some handles there, nicely done in. Legs, the base of the closet looks really nice. Just definitely they did a really good job at this particular mimic here. But moving this aside, and we'll look at my favorite one of the batch. This is a mimic that is designed to look like a bearskin rug. Obviously, the mimic is very present with like bits of bluish purple mimic flesh. You can see the rug down there with most of the mimic taking up the front of the rug. And it looks really cool. Again, more bluish purple flesh. There's some eyes on the shoulder and obviously on the face of the bear. Nice big mimic claws coming out here. Really cool. Obviously, it's my favorite one. Lots of fur texturing. It starts off as like a yellowish beige color, and then moving into more of a caramel brown. But really cool. Definitely, they got a lot of detail on these cute little mimics. But that pretty much wraps up our look at the mimics and our review. Let me know if you guys have picked up these icons of the realm. You missed one. Oh, I almost forgot one. This little guy right here. Don't worry, buddy. You'll get your time in the limelight. So I think this is supposed to be a barrel. It's got a bunch of eyes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 eyes. It's got a diagonal mouth, like that. Probably so when it rolls on the ground it can grab people. It's got another eye there. It's got 8 eyes. And then obviously you can see the grain of the barrel right there. Nice dry brushing, everything. Like the gunmetal silver/gray color they use for like the bands. And then the mimic is not keeping up appearances at the top of the barrel because that just sort of fades away into this big long tongue, which the mimics obviously use to hunt. They pull their prey into their mouths and eat them, or just to travel the environment. But there it is, the barrel mimic. Looks really cool. But yeah, I almost forgot about this little guy. But you can join his friends there. Yeah, that pretty much wraps up every mimic within the mimic family. This is a set that just hit my local card shop. Let me know if you guys have any of these. And hey, just real quick here, I found the full render of the kind of background image that was on the card of the Mimic Colony, and it becomes very dark. As we can see that these 2 old ladies are actually having tea in a house that's a mimic in itself, and that everything in the house is also a mimic. Does that make these old ladies mimics too, or maybe they just have a beneficial relationship with the mimics? Who knows? But yeah, they're having tea in a mimic, basically. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed my look at the Mimic Colony. And with that being said, do take care, have a great night, and I'll see you in the next video.